Hello and welcome straight from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Israel threatens to annex parts of Gaza Strip unless the Hamas frees hostages. France opposes any form of annexation either in the Gaza Strip or in the West Bank. Heathrow International Airport power outage causes global flight disruptions which could extend for days. UK Energy Minister Ed Miliband says there is no indication of foul play. And India's External Affairs Ministry says India and the US are engaged in talks to resolve tariff-related issues, with both nations working towards a framework for a bilateral trade pact. Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz on Friday threatened to annex parts of the Gaza Strip unless the Hamas releases the remaining Israeli hostages. He said that he ordered to seize more territory in Gaza and further added that the more the Hamas refuses to free the hostages, the more territory it will lose. Katz also vowed to step up assaults using civilian as well as military pressure, making efforts to defeat the Hamas. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister of France has opposed any kind of annexation by Israel of the Gaza Strip or the West Bank. The Sudanese army has recaptured the presidential palace in Khartoum from the Rapid Support Forces after a fierce battle. Army spokesperson Nabil Abdallah confirmed the victory, saying that their forces destroyed the enemy's equipment and seized large quantities of weapons. The army has vowed to continue fighting until the militia is purged from the country. The presidential palace has been a key location in the conflict, with the RSF occupying it in April 2023. The conflict has killed tens of thousands of people, displaced over 12 million others, and created the world's largest hunger and displacement crises. The army's recapture of the palace marks a significant gain in the civil war.
A steadfast and resilient people, in a timeless heroic battle, our forces crowned their successes today in Khartoum, where they were able to crush the remnants of the terrorist militia of Dagalo. In the areas of central Khartoum, the Arab market, and the buildings of the Republican Palace, a symbol of the sovereignty, pride, and dignity of the Sudanese people, and the buildings of the ministries. Our forces, thanks to God, completely destroyed the enemy's personnel and equipment and seized large quantities of their weapons and equipment in the aforementioned areas.
But Sudan's rebel paramilitary RSF launched a drone strike on the presidential palace hours after the military recaptured it on Friday. A Sudanese army source said 3 journalists have been killed in the paramilitary drone strike on Khartoum's presidential palace. The journalists had been reporting for Sudanese state television when the Rapid Support Forces militia targeted the Republican Palace with a one-way attack drone. Meanwhile, Sudan's RSF has said that it has killed dozens, as the palace battle is not over yet. Now to the UK, where Heathrow International Airport has been closed until midnight after experiencing a significant power outage due to a fire at a nearby electrical substation supplying the airport. The airport authorities have asked passengers to expect significant disruption over the coming days, as they do not have clarity about power supply restoration. Around 70 firefighters have been tackling the blaze in the west of London, which led to a mass power outage at Heathrow and in nearby areas. Meanwhile, at least 120 flights in the air bound for Heathrow have been diverted due to airport disclosure, but about 1,350 flights are believed to be affected. Screen recordings from flight tracking website Flight Radar 24 early Friday morning showed planes avoiding London's main airport, which is also Europe's busiest and the world's 4th busiest airport. Now, British police has said its counter-terrorism unit is leading inquiries given the critical nature of the incident. British Energy Minister Ed Miliband said there was no suggestion of foul play behind the huge fire at the substation.
suggestion that there is foul play. The conversation I've had is with the National Grid, the chief executive of the National Grid, and certainly that's what he said to me.
Now, the closure of London's Heathrow Airport is set to affect the global aviation system for days at a cost of tens of millions of dollars. Experts say, posing questions about why better contingency planning was not in place at such a main hub.
The busiest airport in the UK and Europe. It's in the top 5 airports globally. It's the only hub airport for the UK. It's running at full capacity, pretty well all its normal planned opening hours. So to have it out of action for 24 hours is a massive impact for aviation, massive impact for the UK economy. We see particular impact from long-haul flights, which are already on their way to Heathrow and had to divert back to either their points of origin or numerous other airports. So some in the UK, some in Europe, some much further afield. The costs, again, are imprecise at the moment, but will certainly run into millions of.
Now, in the wake of the power outage issue, Air India has issued an advisory regarding the operations to and from London's Heathrow Airport. Its London Heathrow-bound AI 129 from Mumbai is returning to Mumbai. AI 161 from Delhi has been diverted to Frankfurt, while all of Air India's remaining flights to and from Heathrow, including AI 111 of this morning, have been cancelled for Friday. However, flights to London Gatwick remain unaffected. Air India has said that it will keep passengers updated about the resumption of operations as soon as they have more information. Now, in an effort to secure US interests in the global minerals market, President Donald Trump has invoked emergency powers to ramp up domestic production of critical minerals. Meanwhile, Trump has also declared that the United States will soon sign a deal with Ukraine for access to its rare earths. In a White House address, Trump said he signed an order to increase US production of critical minerals and rare earths and will very shortly sign a pact with Ukraine. Under the Cold War era Defense Production Act, the US is pushing to mine and process materials such as lithium and nickel, which are crucial for semiconductors, which are used in electrical vehicles and critical defense equipment as well.
Moments ago, I also signed an executive order to dramatically increase production of critical minerals and rare earths. It's a big thing in this country, and as you know, we're also signing agreements in various locations to unlock rare earths and minerals and lots of other things all over the world, but in particular Ukraine. We're doing very well with regard to Ukraine and Russia, and one of the things we are doing is signing a deal very shortly with respect to rare earths with Ukraine, which they have tremendous value in rare earth, and we appreciate that. And we spoke yesterday with, as you know, President Putin and President Zelensky, and we would love to see that come to an end, and I think we're doing pretty well in that regard. So hopefully we could save thousands of people a week from dying. That's what it's all about. They're dying.
Well, one can't really be sure if all of Donald Trump's plans and proposals will fall into place. One example, of course, is here right now. Ukraine's President Zelensky has said that all nuclear power plants in Ukraine belong to the people of Ukraine, following comments by US President Donald Trump suggesting that the US could own and operate the country's nuclear facilities.
All nuclear power plants belong to the people of Ukraine. They are state-owned nuclear power plants. We do not have private property, energy, nuclear power in Ukraine. We have thermal generation. There is green energy. There is private partnership. There is completely private energy. This is absolutely clear and correct. But all nuclear power belong to the state of Ukraine.
And Trump has issued a series of executive orders during the early days of his second term. These, of course, talk about a lot of issues, and in the latest move, Trump has signed an executive order intended to essentially dismantle the Federal Department of Education, making good on a long-standing campaign promise to conservatives. The order would leave school policy almost entirely in the hands of states and local boards, a prospect that alarms liberal education advocates.
But we're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs, and this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do, and it's going to work. Absolutely, it's going to work, and we're going to love and cherish our teachers along with our children, and they're going to work with the parents, and they're going to work with everybody else, and it's going to be an amazing thing to watch, and it's really going to be something special.
Germany's upper house of parliament on Friday gave the final seal of approval to a massive spending package aimed at beefing up the country's military and overhauling its infrastructure. The amendment was backed in the Bundesrat with 53 out of 69 votes in favour, passing the 46-vote threshold after it cleared the lower house on Tuesday. The package is the brainchild of the incoming government of likely next Chancellor Friedrich Merz, whose centre-right CDU/CSU is in coalition talks with the centre-left Social Democrats or the SPD after February's election. Now, the spokesperson for India's Ministry of External Affairs, Randhir Jaiswal, has briefed the media on Friday. The MA spokesperson touched upon various issues, including the Kailash Mansarovar pilgrimage, to which he said that it will start in 2025, but talks are still going on with China. While speaking on the issue of tariffs, the MA spokesperson said that India and the US are in the process of taking bilateral trade negotiations forward, and that the country aims to enhance trade, address tariff and non-tariff barriers, and come up with a framework for a bilateral trade agreement.
India and the US are in the process of taking bilateral trade negotiations forward. The two governments are actively working to build a framework for the BTA, which would aim to expand trade, enhance market access, reduce tariff and non-tariff barriers. Government of India remains engaged with the US administration at various levels to arrive at a mutually beneficial multi-sector bilateral trade agreement.
And on Pakistan, India's MEA spokesperson said that the world knows the real issue is Pakistan's active promotion and sponsorship of cross-border terrorism, which remains the biggest roadblock to peace in the region.
The world clearly knows that the real issue is Pakistan's active promotion and sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. In fact, this is the biggest roadblock to peace and security in the region.
Two people have been reported dead due to chikungunya epidemic in the French Indian Ocean island of La Réunion, according to the local authorities. Efforts are underway to fight the mosquito-borne disabling disease. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah was sworn in as Namibia's first female president on Friday. Her victory last year extended the ruling party's 35-year grip on power. The ceremony was attended by heads of state from Angola, South Africa and Tanzania, marking a historic moment for Namibia and Africa. Indonesia's Lewotobi Laki-Laki volcano erupted on Thursday and spewed ash clouds more than 8 kilometers high. Streets in the nearby villages were covered in mud after ashes and rain came down heavily. Indonesia has close to 130 active volcanoes and sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an area of high seismic activity atop various tectonic plates. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. India hits 1 billion tons of coal production. Prime Minister Modi calls it a proud moment. The UN sounds alarm on glacier melting, designates 2025 as their preservation year. And India submits a bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. It's a centenary edition in Gujarat.
जिंदगी की हर छोटी बड़ी जरूरत के लिए आप जो सपने सजाते हैं, बस उसी उम्मीद को तो हम सहारा लगाते हैं। SIP आपकी सेविंग्स को आपकी खातिर काम पर लगाएगी। आज ही अपनी पहली SIP की शुरुआत करें। अधिक जानकारी के लिए अपने वित्तीय सलाहकार से परामर्श करें। LIC म्यूचुअल फंड द्वारा निवेशक शिक्षा की एक पहल।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार के जोखिम के अधीन हैं। योजना से संबंधित सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. A crucial legislative business was transacted on Friday during the second half of the budget session of the Indian Parliament. The upper house or the Rajya Sabha discussed the functioning and priorities of the Ministry of Home Affairs. In replying to the debate, Home Minister Amit Shah said, after Prime Minister Modi came to power, the government adopted a zero-tolerance policy against terrorism.
पहले कश्मीर की बात करूंगा मान्यवर। कश्मीर में हम सब जानते थे कि पड़ोसी देश से आए दिन आतंकवादी घुसते थे, या बम धमाके करते थे, हत्याएं करते थे। एक भी त्योहार ऐसा नहीं होता था जो चिंता के बगैर जाता था। और केंद्र सरकारों का रवैया लचीला होता था, चुप्पी साध जाते थे, बोलने में डर लगता था, कोई दुविधा भी थी, शायद वोट बैंक का भी डर था। नरेंद्र मोदी जी के आने के बाद आतंकवाद के खिलाफ जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति प्रधानमंत्री की ने।
And the lower house, that's the Lok Sabha, has passed demands for grants of various ministries for 2025-26 in respect of the union budget. During the proceedings, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla applied the guillotine to pass the demands for grants for the ministries including chemicals and fertilizers, power, commerce and industry, housing and urban affairs, information and broadcasting and MSME. The House also rejected the cut motions moved by the members with respect to demands for grants of various ministries. The House has been adjourned for the day. In a landmark achievement, India crossed a record milestone of 1 billion tons of coal production in the current fiscal year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi described it as a proud moment for the country, showcasing its commitment to energy security and self-reliance. In a post on X, the Prime Minister said, and I quote, "Crossing the monumental milestone of 1 billion tons of coal production is a remarkable achievement, highlighting our commitment to energy security, economic growth and self-reliance. This feat also reflects the dedication and hard work of all those associated with the sector." End quote. India's bioeconomy has witnessed a remarkable 16-fold rise over the past one decade, from $10 billion in 2014 to an impressive $166 billion last year. India's Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh launched the Biosarthi Mentorship Initiative for biotech startups today, that is on Friday in New Delhi. Biosarthi is a pioneering global mentorship initiative aimed at nurturing biotech startups. Biosarthi will facilitate structured mentor-mentee engagements, offering personalized guidance to emerging entrepreneurs in the biotech sector.
13th anniversary of BioRag also assumes a special significance today, because this is the time when the government headed by Prime Minister Modi is according a very high priority to all these streams of science, and more so in the context of biotechnology, because it was virtually lying in the backyard. It's been pulled out, and the message has gone out loud and clear also. It's not only that's been done, it's also been known to be done, that of course now here is a government which gives priority to those futuristic areas, futuristic sectors which are going to determine the economic profile of any nation.
The United Nations has designated 2025 as the International Year of Glaciers Preservation to highlight the importance of glaciers and ensure that those relying on them and those affected by cryospheric processes receive the necessary hydrological, meteorological and climate services. These efforts underscore the critical role mountain regions play as a key source of global freshwater and ecosystem services. The theme of UN's International Year of Glaciers Preservation 2025 is, in fact, glacier preservation, which emphasizes the urgent need to protect glaciers and their vital role in the climate system and water cycle, focusing on the impacts of rapid glacial melt. Meanwhile, a UN report has warned that saving glaciers is crucial for the planet's survival, as all 19 global glacier regions lost mass in 2024. The World Meteorological Organization says the past 5 years has seen the fastest glacier retreat on record, with 275,000 glaciers shrinking due to climate change.
2021 to 2024, the glacier mass loss over that 3-year period was the most negative 3-year glacier mass balance on record. And in 2024 itself, there were exceptional losses in Norway, Sweden, Svalbard, and the tropical Andes. And you can see that the rate of glacier loss has increased over time.
To review preparations at the planned venue for the ambitious Waves, India's first global conference in the entertainment and media sector, Prasar Bharati CEO Gaurav Dwivedi and DD News Director General Priya Kumar visited the Geo Centre in Mumbai on Friday. After interacting with the officials and staff, they took stock of the preparations for the conference. On this occasion, the officials of Prasar Bharati Regional Office and Mumbai Doordarshan were also present. Now, India's acclaimed filmmaker Subhash Ghai has praised World Audiovisual Entertainment Summit, or WAVES, calling it a powerful platform to showcase India's rich civilization and cultural heritage to the world. Here's more in this report.
India's acclaimed filmmaker Subhash Ghai shared his thoughts on the WAVES initiative, calling it a powerful platform to showcase the country's rich civilization and cultural diversity to the world. He emphasized the importance of growth in both wisdom and economic strength, stressing that if Bharat is to become the Vishwaguru, these two elements must go hand in hand.
I really appreciate WAVES initiated by our Prime Minister and our state ministers, because this is the only way we can go ahead talking about our country, civilization and the sovereignty to the other countries. If we want to make a place and if we want to be the Vishwaguru, to khali it will not happen only the economic growth. It has to be a wisdom growth.
Describing India as an epical country, Ghai noted that Indians have always desired their stories to be told and retold, much like the timeless epics of the Ramayana and Mahabharata. He further added that the focus should be on telling more India stories. Expressing his disappointment, Ghai also disagreed with the notion that westernization equals modernization, criticizing the tendency to view Western content as the benchmark of modernity.
India is an epical country. We want stories to be told and retold, like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Kavya, Vasudhatta. See? And we draw our morals from those stories and live our life. That's our civilization over there. So if you want to make an Indian content driven country, then you have to focus on Indian content, right? Not a Korean or not a westernization. The youngsters today are thinking the westernization means modernization. And I don't agree with them. Because modernization means that first you dig your own heritage. Because today everything is available at AI for them. Now you have to grow their wisdom, their skill to dig our own past, our ancient stories, and present your own country, Bharat, to the rest of the world.
Ghai believes that if WAVES can bring more talent from rural areas by spreading education to every district and state, the country will witness a dramatic shift. He envisions that in the next 10 years, India will emerge as one of the top 2 countries in the world when it comes to art and culture. Shyama Mishra's report for DD India.
India has officially submitted an expression of interest to organize the Centenary Commonwealth Games in Ahmedabad, Gujarat in 2030. The bid, led by Commonwealth Games Association of India President P.T. Usha, underscores Ahmedabad's readiness to serve as an exceptional host city. This move aligns with India's broader ambition to secure major international events, including a bid for the 2036 Olympic Games. Hosting the Commonwealth Games would not only elevate India's stature in sports administration, but also bring significant economic benefits. Para-badminton coach Gaurav Khanna has said that Prime Minister Modi has played a key role in creating a sports-friendly environment for all athletes, including para-athletes. In an exclusive interaction with DD India's Narayan Singh, he said Prime Minister Modi's encouragement has been a catalyst in uplifting Indian sports.
The second edition of the Khelo India Para Games is underway in capital, and right now I am joined by the Dronacharya Awardee coach Gaurav Khanna ji, who is the man behind the rise of the India's para badminton rise. We can call it a revolution in the para sports in India. So what's your take on it?
Frankly speaking, it's definitely the initiative which has been taken up by Honorable Prime Minister Sir. I think supported by Sports Authority of India, the full team of Ministry Sports, elite athletes plus the grassroots athletes meets together and perform and compete with each other so as to give the results and the best performance for the country.
The most important thing is that the para sports is also getting an equal footing. Talking about the National Sports Award, the way Praveen was there for the Khel Ratna, and 18 para athletes were there for the Arjuna Award. And also talking about the cash reward, it is also equivalent. So how you look this change in the Indian sports arena?
This government has definitely taken a good initiative. At least I can say in my field of sports, where the para athletes and the able-bodied athletes have been given equal rights, privilege, opportunities and the facilities. What you have rightly mentioned about the cash awards, about the job opportunities and about organizing this event, where the facilities which are being provided to able-bodied athletes, the same sort of facilities and at par equal treatment is being provided to the para athletes.
What are the basic reasons you say that this stupendous rise of the Indian para sports?
People are coming from interiors, they wanted to participate in para sports and to perform well, and since this event has given a lot of mileage and the personal involvement of our Prime Minister Sir has given the privilege to the athletes, the recognition to the athletes. So this has encouraged their parents, even those who were not equally treated well in their society, but now they are champions, they are heroes, they are being recognized as the role models, and all this has happened because such type of wonderful programs, equal cash award, equal job opportunities and equal conduct of this event has been continuously taking place.
Gaurav Khanna ji said that the personal involvement of the PM was a catalyst in making the para sports popular in India, and that's why we saw a rise in the medal tally. We saw the dominance of the Indian para athletes at the world level, and definitely the way things are happening, we will see the more domination of the Indian para athletes at the world stage. With camera person Lalit, Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen and download the app right now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Royan from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.